what do you call the S-based database. So S-based database is an multi-dimension queues where it will allow us to have the reporting in a easier format where an end user can create his own report. So apart from this, we have other few reports as well. That is OTPA report and the BI publisher report. So that
Mm-hmm.
maybe we will look at it when we see the payable module. So we will not go, I mean, we will not do a deep dive into it, but we will look at it for our understanding. Maybe if you wanted to develop a simple report. So we will see what
Tell
are
me, for Fusion, do I need to, I mean, know all these things to be able to work on Fusion?
no, it's not that we need to know all these things.
Mm.
As a consultant, if we know all these things, it will be good that we can relate to the things. So that's what. But it's not mandatory that I wanted to have all this information. Like the report and the other things will be handled by the technical consultant. But
Mm.
the reason I wanted to show or I wanted to just highlight it here is that maybe if we know the exact details or the at least a high level understanding, we can give
Mm.
the requirement to the technical guy or the technical consultant. So that is what. So that's what I was saying. So we will not basically do a deep dive. We will just go through what is there, what is not there.
No, but if the question I have is, let's say I'm a Fusion, so what is the role of Fusion? Because it's a khichdi of multiple things, right?
Yeah.
I've seen JD Edwards in the early part of my career, right, when it was earliest form, uh,
Okay.
legacy software. Then when Oracle acquired it, then I am sure they have done some work on it.
Okay.
Then I've seen PeopleSoft. Okay,
Okay.
are you expect? Is the Fusion consultant expected to know PeopleSoft
No.
CM, Siebel CRM, uh,
No.
uh, JD Edwards? How does it work? I mean,
No.
that this is the right way forward.
No, no, this is not expected. So we don't need the product knowledge of JD Edward, PeopleSoft, and the other things. So that is not expected. So I just kept for our understanding that Oracle has built this Fusion application on top of this five, what do you call the procurement that they have made. But we
Okay.
will learn as an Fusion application, but not as an JD Edward or the PeopleSoft.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, so we don't need to have any product knowledge of any specific thing. All we will look at it is the Fusion application. So Fusion application will have all this inside it. So I mean, we cannot basically see it, but usually this we call attend financial product or the financial offering as a whole in the Fusion application. So we don't
Okay.
need all this product knowledge. So that is not required. That is not expected also.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I think I'll get more clarity as we go into it in detail.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Please go.
Yeah. If you see EBS or any other platforms, mostly it will be on-premise. So to have control over their networking and to control over their database and the other things. Because what will
Hmm.
happen is that when I move to the cloud, I mean the cost and the other things might come into play. But I don't need to have a manpower or infrastructure cost will not be borne by myself or the entity that going to implement it. So for that, we have two to three options in cloud platform. So it is not mandatory that only Fusion application will have the cloud platform. But when we say Fusion, that is always cloud. But whereas EBS, if you see, we have on-premise and we have cloud platform as well. So we can host it in our this thing as well, cloud. So we can host it in Oracle Cloud or we can host it in Microsoft or what do you call the Amazon Cloud. So that depends. But only thing is that we will have challenge in terms of getting back to the on-premise. So that is one part to it. So when we speak about the Fusion application, so basically we will see three modes of cloud computing. So that is SaaS, software as a service, and we speak about PaaS, that is platform as a service.
Arun, sorry, I just have a couple of things. Okay.
Yeah.
So at my work, I think I might get a call in another 10 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
In case I get a call, can we stop the class now? Then can we do an early morning session if that's okay with you?
Yeah, yeah, that is fine. Maybe if you want to stop, we can stop.
So when I
Uh,
get the call, we'll stop. And then
okay.
morning, what time will work for you?
Like you tell me your timings. Maybe we can have a common timings.
So can we do like say 7 to 8 tomorrow?
Yeah, fine, no problem.
Okay. So kind of do a catch up tomorrow morning, when then we'll do hard stop when I get a call. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Let me know if you get a call.
Sure,
Maybe
I
we
will.
can end this.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So in this cloud computing, if you see, we have three models. That is SaaS, software as a service, and PaaS, platform as a service, and we have IaaS, infrastructure as a service. So what is the difference between these three is that basically how much control are we having in terms of application, database, network, and the middleware and the other components. So if
Mm.
you see here in SaaS model, we will not have any control over it. So if we wanted to communicate with the other application, so we will not have it. So only a part that we will have is that REST API with that maybe we can communicate with the banks and the other things. But the customization and the other things are not allowed in SaaS model. So we cannot do any modification for a given page or the screen. But
It's
whereas,
basically off the shelf and you just use it.
yeah, yes, correct. We will just
Mm.
use that as it is. But whereas for the PaaS model, if you look at it, we can have application and database in our control. So we can
Mhm.
have our own platform. Let's say I wanted to build the blockchain and integrate it. So I can do
Mm.
it in the PaaS model. But whereas I'll not be able to do the same in the SaaS model.
Right.
And apart from that, we have IaaS. So IaaS is something that we will have more control over it. So only the server and the networking will be handled by Oracle. So rest of the cost and the infrastructure will be handled by the company who is implementing, basically by the
Mm.
customers.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So on-premise, we know the everything will be handled by the customer.
Mm. Okay.
So these are the different models that we have in Fusion application.
Okay. Which is the most preferred, usually in by customers?
Yeah, most prefer is SaaS. But if you take Indian customers, that is mostly preferred as an PaaS model, basically, to have the customizations migrated to the Fusion application. So that is why if you see, you will see more of an implementation in other countries like Middle East is picking up very good. But apart from that, US and Europe is picking up. But India, if you see, it is very less. India, they are preferring mostly for the artful, that is EBS, EB suite. But India cases fusion implementation is very less. So for Middle East, if you see, SaaS model is moreover preferred.
Okay. US also mostly they'll go what, pass or SaaS, is it?
Yeah, yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So and then we have the database. So database that we have is in the Fusion application, that is normal transaction whatever we are doing in our subledger module, that is APAR, I mean not
Mm.
GL, APAR and the other modules.
Right.
So we will have transaction this stored in the rows and column, that is our traditional database. And
Mm.
apart from that, we have something called space database. So what will happen is that when I try to create, so this space database is only for the general ledger. So other modules will not communicate with the space database. So when I create
Mm.
a new ledger, basically this will create a cubical value for this particular ledger. And when I
Okay.
try to transfer an entry from the subledger, so this will create a cube on top of the parent cube that we have generated while setting up the ledger. Okay,
Okay.
so based on this cube, basically we can pull out the report in a multi-dimension this thing. So this will be
Mm.
used more for an financial reporting part. So where in ABS we had the FSG, you might be
Mm.
aware. So instead of FSG, we have FRS, Financial Reporting Studio. So that is
Mm.
where we will use the space database and we will connect it. So basically the connection is based on the chart of accounts.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah, so that is about the space database.
Okay. Will we be going to that a little bit? Yes.
Yeah, yes, yes, we are seeing that.
So I'll be so at the end of this course, let's say this whatever the course, please tell me what are the skill sets that I will be developing.
Yeah. So end of this session, basically we'll be good with our financial modules. So the implementation part, and I'll take you through the real-time cases as well. And
Hmm.
apart from that, we will know the high-level understanding on the workflows, which we say BPM, Business Process Management, and we will have an understanding on the reporting. So that is both on the OTPA and this thing, and we will also speak about the fusion architecture here and there, so wherever it is required. And we will speak little bit about the documentation part. I mean, that is not required anyway, you will be knowing it, but still we will see like what are the documentation that we'll be using for the fusion application, and what is the difference between aim methodology and UAM methodology. So these things we will see.
How job ready will I be?
Sorry.
How job ready?
Hmm.
Real world job. How
Yeah.
prepared will I be for that?
Job, okay, you're trying to relate this with the jobs. Yeah. So since we are looking at the real-time cases, so it will be easy for you to get in. And another advantage I would say is that since you have already experience in the other ERP products, so this you can very well pick up from the line where you can pick it up, and you will be coping up. And if you look at the job and this thing, uh, basically for job, if I wanted to tell it frankly, which means they will expect you to have at least 1 year or 2 years experience.
That
uh,
part, let's not worry about that. I just wanted to look at from skill sets. Getting the job with my experience and all is my headache. Okay.
okay.
What I want to know is like, for example, do I need to get any Hyperion or S-based knowledge?
No, no, we don't need that. Basically, we don't need that. Maybe I confused you with that one slide, I think.
No,
So
you did not
that,
confuse me. All you actually, it helps me. The more sometimes my questions be a little stupid,
no,
but
no, no. Yeah,
I'm trying to understand because having worked in a consulting job, I
yeah,
just I'm always trying to map what is
yeah,
the as how close is it to reality? What is the gap? What are the other things that I need to close a job offer? You know,
okay,
I cannot go half prepared as far as skills goes. If, for example, ERP consultant on Oracle, what is that? Oracle EBS, if they is expected to know, for example, something on SBase and all, then I
okay.
know, okay, I need to also get those skill set. That's what I wanted to know. If I don't have it and say I'm going there, then I'm not fully prepared for it. That's what I wanted to understand. That's
Yeah, so these skill sets, if you look at it, we don't have anything specific here. So
Hmm.
all the expectation would be something like this, where we have a few automation and the other things involved in Fusion application. And in terms of data migration, that will be different from the EBS or the other platform. So that will be expected. So we need to have a basic knowledge there. And apart from that, we don't need these special skill sets, like we don't need to know the additional product knowledge like the Hyperion and the other things. Even we will not be able to see the Hyperion part. So all we will be seeing only inside this fusion application.
Hmm.
And we will also understand the space and how the cubes will work and what is cube and the other part of it. And we will also look at the reporting, how it is different from the traditional one. So basically, if you see in any ERP system, so if I wanted to create the report, basically I need to have basic what do you call the where condition and the other simple statements. But
A
whereas
basic
here,
query.
yeah,
Hmm.
correct, the
Hmm.
basic queries are the procedures. But here in this case, I don't need any special query or anything. I can just drag and drop and I can create the report. So,
Oh,
so this will be here in the Fusion application, but it is not there in the other application. I mean, my experience is very less in the sense I work mostly in the EBS and the Fusion environment. And apart from that, I involve myself into few blockchain POCs. So this is all about my experience. So in this, I haven't seen any system where We can just drag and drop the fields, and system will automatically create the reports. So this is there in Fusion. Similarly, we have few other things. So this is what the market is expecting from a Fusion consultant.
Okay. Mm.
But it is not expected on the higher level where we need to know what exactly inside this space, Hyperion, and the other things. So all
Okay.
we need to know is only the high level understanding and the new terminologies and the other things that they have added in the Fusion application.
Okay. All right. Then.
Yeah.
Okay, please go ahead. I think it was a good conversation. Go ahead. Now you give me more clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. So after this, so we have something called enterprise structure. So if you look at the EBS, so basically we have something called business group. So business
Mm.
group is used mostly for to have control over the particular structure of the country. So let's say I
Mm.
operate in the multiple countries, US and
Mm.
UK. So in this case, I'll have two business unit, that is one for US and the other one is for UK. So
Okay.
but whereas in Fusion, we cannot have multiple enterprise. So when we say enterprise, that is always one. So when we are migrating from EBS to Fusion application, so let's say how to migrate this in this context. So we have
Mm.
something called legislative data group. So what this will do is that this will basically group on the basis of country. So after grouping it, basically we will attach it to a legal entity where the multiple legal entity will form one legislative data group, or we can have one legal entity for, I mean, attached to a legislative data group. So this way we form a big structure. So if you see here, so we have Honeywell as a whole, I mean enterprise, and then we have multiple division. This is line of business. So we have
Mm.
electronic business and we have fire equipment or the sensor manufacturing business.
Mm.
So in this case, again, we have taken two cases where we have operation in multiple countries. So for the electronic case, we have operation in US and Singapore. And for the fire equipment, if you see here, we have operation in US and UK.
Mm.
So this way, we are trying to segregate using the division, and also we are trying to segregate based on the legislative data group.
Mm.
But whereas in the EBS, we will have a different business group for this particular country called US, and for UK, we will have another business group. So we don't have the concept of division there in EBS. So whereas here we have the segregation, and also we have the business
This
group.
is the non-fusion structure you're showing, right? At this point, or is it the fusion?
No, this is fusion structure actually.
Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm just trying to relate it with EBS.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So we have this one like the legal entity. So for a legal entity, basically we will have multiple business unit or the operating unit.
Mm.
But in this case, I have just taken one or two. So for our understanding, so which
Okay.
means for USLE we have two business unit, and for
Mm.
Singapore we have one business unit.
Okay.
So here we have something called distribution center. So this is
Mm.
SEM part, or self for our understanding. I have just mentioned it. So distribution center is just for a reporting purpose, where this will basically consume the units that is going out of this particular distribution center. So this is SCM part of reporting, and then we have inventory arc. So if we say inventory arc, we have two things. So one is the physical inventory arc, and the another one is inventory master.
Mm.
So inventory master can be as a global, that is, we can have it for both line of business, or we can have it segregated as well. So based on the requirement, we can have it, and also we will have the sub inventory. So this will be our enterprise structure in the Fusion application. So we will have the enterprise on top, and then we will have the division. So under division, we will have a ledger for each division. In this case, we have taken one ledger, but whereas under electronics, we will have multiple ledgers. So while defining the ledgers, we know that we have few considerations to make. So that is, we will have basically the document sequence and period closure. This prerequisites are there. So based on the business requirement, we will go for multiple ledger or we can handle it in the single ledger.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is one part of it. So below ledger, we will have the legal entity. So legal entity is based on the registration that company has made. So based on that, we will split out our legal entities. And below that, we have a business unit. So business unit is again based on the operations that we have. So if we have some unit called which will generate basically the expense or the revenue, we call business unit. So based on the current organization structure, basically we will have the business unit setup. And the other two parts, this is related to SEM. So I'm just leaving this one. So this top one will be our finance structure.
Which one? When you say
This one from enterprise to business unit will be
business
our
unit, finance.
finance structure.
Okay.
Yeah. So fine. Any doubt? Maybe we can take this.
So, do you have any documentation or something like class notes that I can refer to after the class?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. I'll send you.
Okay. So, yeah, so this is how you set it up in GL, right? You'll set up the enterprise, you'll set up the division,
Yeah.
then go to set up the primary ledgers,
Yeah. So
business units, right?
yeah. So in GL we will start from the primary ledger because
Primary ledger.
this enterprise and division will be configured by the HCM consultant, human resource.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So basically we will start from the primary ledger.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, so when we are seeing it in the application, we will see the detailed ones like we have reference data set and the other things. So we will
Hmm.
also see how the shared services is working.
Hmm.
So when we are seeing it an application, it will be more clear basically. So
No
for now,
problem.
the basic understanding is that the setup or the configuration will start from the primary ledger,
Okay.
and it will end in a business unit.
So for each transaction level, so it'll have the key fields will be what, business unit or what?
Yeah, transaction it is always business unit. It
Business
will
unit,
have,
right?
yeah, correct.
The key field will be the business unit, and then
Yeah,
the transaction or whatever.
yeah, correct.
Okay, okay, all right, okay,
Yeah, fine.
okay, good. Good.
Yeah. So we have something called roles and this thing users. So when we say users, we have two kind of users here. So one
Mm,
is employee user and the another one is implementation user. So
mm.
always in Fusion application, the access will be given based on the roles that is assigned to the user. So if you see here for
Arun,
the
I'm getting a call now.
yeah,
Okay,
okay,
so let's please break up today and
yeah,
resume tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Right?
yeah,
Clear?
yes, yeah, yes,
Go same. Is the same Zoom meet link or?
yes. No, I'll send the new one.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much for your time. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll
thanks.
start. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
thanks.
Bye.